Music can't get a dollar out of me.
Hello, hello. How you doing today, y'all? You are live with Alonzo, the World Class Grandmaster. That's right here. We do this every Wednesday on Morris Media Live. That's right. It's called Not Alonzo, the history of West Coast hip hop. And today and every day, we do a little segment on hip hop and the law. To my left, I have the hip hop attorney. I call him Dakar, the hip hop attorney. What's up with you, Doc?
Hey, Alonzo, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing fantastic, man. We just up here trying to drop some knowledge on these folks, and trying not really put you out of business, but trying to make your business a little bit less severe. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? As a criminal defense attorney, I look forward to that day where black people aren't being charged with crimes anymore.
You should drive a truck then. What you gonna do?
Probably teach school.
All right. Yeah. You know, some of y'all don't know who I am. And I forgot about that. You know, I'm so used to being me, I forgot to tell y'all. If you've seen the movie Straight Outta Compton, there was this handsome, crazy cat, club owner at Dudo's. That I am the real Alonzo from Straight Outta Compton, folks. That's right. I'm the man behind Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, Ice Cube, Michelet, and most of what you heard of from the 80s to the new millennium. I'm the man that put it down back in the 70s and paved the way for West Coast hip-hop, y'all. I am known as the world-class grandmaster, the godfather of West Coast hip-hop, and I wear that title very proudly, folks. And we're here today on another mission, because our mission is not, see, as a grown man, we have certain responsibilities to the community, to our youngsters, and when you see something that's going wrong, you have an obligation to stop and check it. And my man to my left, the hip-hop attorney, Mr. Dakar, he and I have had several conversations about some of the things that his clients, not so much fall victim to, but they're influenced by. And today we're talking about a very serious subject that's being made light of in a lot of records around the country, around the world, and it's almost like it's second nature to try and make this thing happen and make it look cool. In fact, before I even go any further, I'm gonna tell you a story about yours truly, okay? Mm-hmm. Felicia, put up that first picture. This first picture is my ass back in the day at Centennial High School. I was a ROTC, semi-militant, natural-having young black man. I wanted to be a Black Panther, but my mama wasn't going for it, so I had a natural, and I joined the ROTC because that's what I was trying to do, because at that time, they were actually drafting folks to go to the service. Well, check this out. Next picture, Felicia. I see the Superfly poster. I hear the album. I didn't see the movie. I just saw the poster and heard the music, and I lost my mind. This story I'm about to tell you, well, part of the situation, what I'm about to tell you, is in my book, Not Alonzo. This is why I know for a fact, this music, not this music, music as a whole can affect you in ways you will never understand until it's too late or until you recognize. Last but not least, 3 months after I see the Superfly post, not even 3 months, maybe about 2 months, I immediately got my hair fried, bought me a maxi coat because I was so impressed with Superfly. I wanted to be a pimp. I wanted to do what Superfly did. I walked around. I'm going to tell the truth, because if anybody knows me, what I do more than anything is I keep it real, and I'll throw myself under the bus first, because I'd rather have tracks on my back than put them on you, okay? I was walking around snorting baking soda. I got baking soda. To try and be cool around my fellas, because I bought me a little maxi coat, got my hair fried. I immediately got my hair fried as soon as I saw the movie, as soon as I saw the album cover.
So it's fair to say that the movie Superfly, in your teenage mind, made pimping so cool.
Man, I had to do it.
You wanted to be that guy.
I didn't have my driver's license yet, man. I wanted a Cadillac. I got a Cadillac now. Oh my God, I'm still a pimp. I'm still a pimp at heart. Okay, I'm seriously right now. I have an '85 Cadillac convertible in my garage right now. sitting on 20s, okay? Not because I want to be a pimp, I just like Cadillacs, okay? But I guess maybe in my subconscious, maybe that's why I could be a Cadillac man. I don't know yet. We're going to talk about that in the future, in a minute. But check this out, though. I did, and now here's the part that people don't really know about me. I did have a brief encounter with pimping. Brief encounter.
What do you mean encounter?
I met a young lady, and I was working at Kenny Shoes in Compton. Met a young lady, very fine, built like, oh my God. And I hooked up with her, and we became very close. And she told me she didn't have a job right now. She didn't have a job at that time, and she worked from time to time. And I'm like, you have a job, how can you work? Okay, I work from time to time. What do you do? What you mean you work? I got a few friends I do things for. Okay, so, but you my woman now, so you got to do that no more. Oh, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So she eventually slid into my house, okay? When I would take her back home and pick her up after work, she would bring some clothes with her. And this happened so many times that eventually I looked up one day and she had a whole closet a whole drawer, a whole section in my closet, in my dresser drawer. She had a whole set of drawers, panties. Where my drawers at? She got panties over here and, whatever else was over there. And I'm like, what the hell happened? So one day I go to work, I get ready to go to work, and she asked me for some money. I had like $10 in my pocket. We're talking about the 70s. And $10 was almost a week's worth of cash, and I gave her 5 of it. Okay? So later that afternoon, I came home. This is a true story. That's a true story. I came home, and the house was smelling like fried chicken.
Wow.
My uncle lived with me at the time. My uncle liked to drink, and he on the couch. He loaded. He ain't had no money. His Social Security check ain't came yet, but he drunk. That's not normal, okay? So I came in the house, baby, the chicken house smelling like fried chicken. Baby got a brand new wig. And I said, what's happening, baby? How you doing? What's happening? What you going, he all happy and stuff. And she give me $20. And I'm like, what's this for? I thought you was broke. I did a little work today. Where you work at? And my uncle, he drunk. He say, tell him what you did. Tell him what you did.
Wow.
I said, what you do? She said, oh, baby, don't worry about it. I just made a little bit of money. Here's a little something for you. And my uncle, he drunk. Tell him what you did. Tell him what you did. What you do? Okay. And she says, I did a little work with your uncle's friend. I said, Mr. Jones? Yeah, wow. I did a little work with Mr. Jones. And boy, I was crushed.
Wow.
I immediately dropped a little sensitive tear. I mean, you sold my stuff to Uncle Mr. Jones?
Yeah.
Okay. And then she got like $75, $80. She bought some food for the house, bought my uncle some liquor, gave me $20. But I'm like, you sold mine to Uncle Mr. Jones? That's all I can think about, okay?
Right. Yeah.
This is Lonzo. I don't know about nobody else. I'm not sugar-free. I'm not too short. I'm Lonzo, the world-class grandmaster, World Class Wrecking Cru. I'm not cut out for pimping, okay? You can't be a sensitive pimp. That don't work, okay? You're supposed to take your money and be happy and ask for all of it because you went shopping. You ain't supposed to go shopping with the money. So I said this to say this, okay? It is so easy for you to think, for you to be impressed by something, influenced by something. You may think that is cool, and you may want to be a part of it till you actually find yourself in that position, okay? Once I found myself in that position, I realized it was not as cool as I thought it was, okay? Personally, for me, I wasn't cut out for that, okay? That's not me. My emotional state of mind is not geared for that, okay? If I like you, you are mine. I'm a typical man. I am possessive, okay? So I can't loan it out, sell it out, rent it out. I don't do that well, okay?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree. I think you got to, in order to pimp a woman, for a man to pimp a woman who is essentially his girlfriend, there's something going on psychologically.
He can't like her.
Like, I think you got to be almost like a psychopath or sociopath.
Sociopath.
In my opinion.
Sociopath.
Because, I actually had a case down in Long Beach a year ago. I was defending a guy in a drug case. It was possession of marijuana for sale. but he was on probation for a pimping case. And it's similar to your story. This guy was about 24 years old, and because I was defending him in the drug case, and there was a probation violation alleged for that pimping case he had the year before, I had access to that file.
Okay.
And I saw the police reports, and I saw what the evidence was against him in that pimping case. Would you believe this 24-year-old black man down in Long Beach was accused, and he pled guilty to it, of pimping 3 young women. One of them was a minor, under the age of 18.
He in trouble.
One was a female that he met, and the third one was his girlfriend who he lived with, and she was pregnant at the time. And he used to take them all out on a track here in L.A. County, and they would get out the car and hook up with men that they met on the street, and he would wait for them in the car, and they bring the money back to him. But he was actually pimping his baby mama, his child's. And I'm like, how can you, the woman you laid up with every night, who's carrying your seed, how can you pimp that woman? How can you pimp any woman, but especially her? How can you do that? It's like, I won't say anymore.
All right.
I've actually seen that. It's really crazy.
All right, Doc. Now you have some facts about pimping that, from a legal perspective, that you want to share with folks. It's people don't understand. We played with that 50 Cent PIMP. Okay.
Yes.
And it's such a serious offense, and people talk about it like it's cool. I'm a pimp. I do this. You better be real careful in who you tell that to, because your own words can be used against you in a court of law, and you'll find yourself doing some serious time. And now I'm going to turn it over to the lawyer.
Yes. Okay, listen, the segment that we're going to do on pimping today, that's our Connecting the Dots segment.
Connecting the Dots.
For the folks out there watching, listening, if you caught last week's show, we did a segment of Connecting the Dots that where we addressed the topic of domestic violence and how that relates to hip-hop and TV. We have a phone call.
Got a phone call early today.
Okay.
Caller, talk to us.
Hey, how do you get a family member that's in the game pimping? How do you get them out the game? And that's the bottom line. How do you get them out the game?
Well, you know what, man?
Call the police. No, I'm kidding.
And without getting the man in the loop.
You know what? That is that's probably the $1,000 question, the $64,000 question, because I have worked with different organizations, and the biggest problem that they find in trying to get the pimps and the females out of the game is the money. It's so easy. How do they go to a normal lifestyle when they could make $500, $600, $1,500 a night, depending on where they are and how good they look? Okay, they can make all this money in one night, as opposed to some of them can't make that in a month on a regular job. So we have to find some way to either educate them and retrain them to another job that they can make a decent living, or sometimes they just don't get it till it's just almost too late. Some people have to get scared straight. You catch one of them serial killers who hate hoes or whatever, hate prostitutes, and almost choke her to death or almost kill her. Then they get it. But a lot of girls, I know a few of them. I've met a few of them, and a lot of them, it's what they kind of enjoy, because they don't have a traditional relationship, but it pays their bills.
Mm-hmm. Caller, can I ask what's your name? Caller,
I'm gonna stay in the witness protection program.
Okay. Hey, I think Alonzo hit the nail on the head. I'll just add that.
Yeah, I want to add one more thing.
Okay.
My cousin, his average weekend night, his girls bring in 5 racks.
Wow.
Easy in a weekend. How you get them out of 5 racks in a weekend?
Right.
And let them know what 5 racks is. I'm gonna take the ads off.
That's $5,000, ain't it?
Yeah, that's $5,000. I'm going back into the witness protection program.
All right. Thanks
for your call.
Thanks for the call.
Okay.
You know, I don't know many jobs that pay 5 racks a week. If they do, I need to apply.
Yeah.
So,
You
but
and me
again, you know, the 5 racks sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, but I had a guest on another show I used to have. He was one of the guys from Pimps Up, Hoes Down, Gorgeous Dre.
The documentary.
Documentary, Pimps Up, Hoes Down. And Dre and I had an intense conversation on my other show, Issues in the Hood. And they was trying to stretch him out for a couple of decades because he drove a white girl across the California, Las Vegas state line.
Okay. That puts the crime in federal jurisdiction, and he probably was charged with a crime called human trafficking as well.
Ooh, it's a whole lot of things you'd rather be caught doing than human trafficking. And he was able to beat the case after about 4 or 5 years of incarceration. But, you know, just the fact that he drove her across the state line and she never turned a trick, but that was because he was known to be a pimp.
Right.
They knew his intentions and they couldn't convict him, but they broke him. Fighting the case, bail, they couldn't even get bail. Well, lawyers, whatever the case may be, you know how they do. They drain you.
Right.
And
set your bail really high.
Tie up all your money.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you can't do nothing. And next thing you know, you pretty much out of business for you when you get back out. Right. All right, folks, we're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna have to repent for my days of pimping for the last few minutes. Dakar, save my soul if you can. At least bail me out if you can. In the meantime, folks, we'll be right back. You're live with Alonzo and Dakar, the hip hop attorney. We're brought to you by Not Alonzo, the book of West Coast hip hop. Be right back. You are back right here live at Morris Media Live, y'all. Not Without Alonzo. It's going down like 4 flat tires on a broken elevator. My man, the hip hop attorney, Dakar is in the house. Brought to you live by Not Without Alonzo at AlonzoWilliams.com. It's the history of West Coast hip hop, y'all. If you don't know your history, you're destined to repeat yourself. In the meantime, today we're talking about something that's very near and dear to my heart because I tried it before. It didn't work out that well. Pimping. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy. Alonzo tried to be a pimp. Alonzo tried to do everything once upon a time, okay? He ended up in the record business. My man, Dakar, has his segment, and we call this Connecting the Dots. And when you take music, video games, movies, and then you wrap it all together and you connect the desensitizing of our generation, and you wonder why the prison industrial complex is so successful, because we are being desensitized to crime. And today the crime we're talking about is pimping. Everybody want to be a pimp. P-I-M-P. I use that moniker that acronym as well.
Right.
Pimp.
You mentioned it on the first show, but
yeah.
What does it stand for?
Persistently improving my position.
And that comes from
pimp.
that comes from James Brown, right?
That comes from being a hustler.
Oh, okay. I thought that was
I don't know. I thought I made it up.
Okay, maybe
persistently improving my position. Okay, so that's what you have to do if you're an independent entrepreneur. You have to always try and improve your position. Mm-hmm. Okay, you have to raise your own game. If you don't tell them, they won't know.
Right. Let me say this because when we started off the show today, you reintroduced yourself. The way that people know you from the movie Straight Outta Compton or know your character, because I've talked to dozens of people about that movie. Okay. And I've seen the movie twice in theaters, and it's a great movie. Anybody who hasn't seen that movie needs to see it. I'm sure I'll see it several more times over the course of my life. That's how good the movie is. Okay. But you're the guy that was the club owner with the Jerry curl.
Jerry curl.
I think you were walking around in cowboy boots.
I got
sometimes
cowboy boots.
Leather suits.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't leather. It was what was it?
In that particular scene, I had on one of my signature jackets and the signature shirt.
Okay. What were they made out
of? They probably made out of something shiny shit. I like shiny shit.
Like satin or silk. Okay.
I got a bunch of silk shit in my closet right now. I'm gonna break it out on this show. You gonna see the real Alonzo. They wasn't playing. The scenario was never really happened in real life,
Yeah.
but for the most part, they kind of got the essence.
Right. You were the guy in the movie telling Dr. Dre, y'all need to leave that rap music alone. And you need to work on the love songs like I told you.
Right.
Because you were the boss.
Right.
Okay, so, yeah, just so people know at home. Okay, yes, today's legal analysis segment is, and we call this Connecting the Dots. We're talking about pimping. We've already gotten into the conversation. It's not just the music that has desensitized our people or the American public to a crime like pimping. You also get it from movies like Hustle and Flow. Have you seen that movie?
Oh, yeah, loved it. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, what
I
can
was just doing a quick Google search just to refresh my memory. This is a movie that came out back in the year 2005. It was a hit movie. It starred Terrence Howard. And I got to admit, when the movie first came out and I read what it was about, I was like, what kind of bullshit is this?
Okay.
But then when I saw the movie, I actually enjoyed it, and I thought Terrence Howard's character was a really cool dude, DJ. And I'm sure I'm not the only person that felt that way. The problem is, if you are a young person or a middle-aged person and you're watching that and you think that character is cool or what he's doing is acceptable, you're more likely to engage in that type of behavior, especially young people. And that's the problem, because if you do engage in pimping here in the state of California, you're going to be charged with a felony crime. Pimping here in the state of California is a violation of California Penal Code Section 266H. There's a sister crime to pimping.
H? Okay.
H
As
is a
hose.
horse.
Okay, as a hose.
Right. There's a related crime called pandering that you often see charged along with pimping, and that's Penal Code 266 Section I.
What's the difference?
I don't have the statute in front of me. I'll tell you what, everybody knows what pimping is.
Right.
It's basically, make an agreement with a woman, usually a woman, for her to sell her, trade sex for money, and share the money with you.
No, give the money to you.
Yeah, it could be shared,
Okay,
or it could be totally given. And pandering, from what I understand, because I actually just was hired to represent somebody in a pimp and pandering case, but I don't appear in court on that case, and it's down in Orange County for the first time until it'll be more than likely next week.
Okay.
So when I get that case, I'll have the criminal complaint that lays out, what the crimes are. But I do know this guy's being charged with both pimping, pandering, and human trafficking.
What kind of time is he looking at?
Well, for the general average person, if you were to get charged with either pimping or pandering here in the state of California, the maximum punishment is 6 years state prison.
Just for one?
For one, either one or the other. So now that doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to get the maximum. The minimum punishment on those crimes is 3 years.
Minimum
State prison. Now, if you're a first-time offender, yes, it's true there's a chance you could get probation, but there's a chance that you may not get probation. And in addition to not getting probation, if the pimping, pandering, or human trafficking, if the subject of that activity is a minor, meaning the woman, usually it's a woman, that was being pimped or pandered or trafficked for sex, if she's under the age of 18 and you get convicted on that crime, that requires the convicted person, the defendant, to register as a sex offender for life.
Woo-woo.
So you might think it's cool for DJ to pimp and hustle and flow, and it sounds good. I mean, 50 Cent song, P.I.M.P., which, we just played a portion of that. I like that song to this day. I still listen to it.
Well,
the music's good, the lyrics good, but, I'm a grown man. It doesn't influence my behavior at all.
But,
what impact is it having on that 12-year-old listening to it?
Right. Now, in Compton, up until recently, there was a major prostitute pimp problem on Long Beach Boulevard. Now, you're not familiar with Compton. I'm from the Hub City, baby, born and raised, right there by the swap meet. When I used to do my show at the cable station in Compton, they flagged me down, trying to, hey, I'm waiting to open the gate up, just like we do here at the Felicia station. We have to open up the gate, and I'm waiting. They on my door, baby. Where you going? How long you gonna be in there? How much you? Oh, no. But it's just amazing that at one point in time I had an interview with one of the deputies on my show, and he explained to me that because the crack cocaine, there was money in crack, the money in crack cocaine was no longer there, a lot of the dope dealers had resorted to pimping to offset the income. Now you got another problem. So you got blood pimps and crip pimps. They fighting for a new territory. They fighting for the stroll now as opposed to the hood. Uh-huh. And you had a lot of violence going on between the hoes, because you got blood hoes and you got crip hoes.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And the hoes was fighting for representing their hood and the track and they pimp. Oh, it was a mess for a while.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
So is that still a big problem in Compton?
They said they've cleaned it up considerably, but I think they moved off to the side streets. Uh-huh. I know I haven't seen them out. I don't go through Compton as much. The swap meet is closed now, so I don't have a reason to go that way like I used to. But the last time I was down there, it was not as heavily populated. It was not. The population was not as evident, as prevalent as it was before. It used to be a time it was obvious what was going down.
You know, you're right. I don't know Compton. I know Compton. I go to the Compton courthouse.
Ain't no holes around there.
Yeah, and I frequent a few other places in Compton. I'm not over there at night very much. But I'm curious, where's this activity? What part of Compton is it?
It was right there on Long Beach Boulevard, there, right in front of the Compton Fashion Center, a.k.a. the swap meet.
Wow.
Okay. And the swap meet was purchased by Walmart, and one of the deals were they had to clean up that area to seal the deal, and it's pretty clean right about now. It's just amazing. But I remember as a young man here in L.A., okay, Century Boulevard and Prairie. Oh man, that was Hooker Central. And as a young man, 17, 16 years old, them were some of the most fun days of my life. Because back then, at being 15, 16, the prostitutes were 23, 24. And they would flash you. You'd be at the light on Prairie by the racetrack, and they would flash you, okay? And oh Lord, they go, there they are right there in your face.
You know what? They may not flash. That may be a separate crime by itself. They got, what's the crime? Oh my God, when you expose yourself, indecent exposure.
Yeah,
that's why they don't do that anymore.
I wouldn't testify.
Or it's like committing a lewd act in public.
Man, they would lewd as hell out there.
So yeah, because I haven't, I've been down some of those streets just because I live in the neighborhood, and I have never seen a woman flash out there, but now they almost tackle you. You can't make eye contact. You ride down the street, and I live off Figueroa, and I have to be careful, man, because it's hot. Sometimes it's hot with hookers and police. Okay, and you'll get caught up at the light. You trying to make a left on 120th, and they'll walk up to your car, and you trying to get away, and the police looking at you and her, and I'm like, baby, you got to go. I'm not trying to go there. And it's just ridiculous how aggressive they can be sometimes, especially around the middle of the month, because they shout. But back to the pimping and pandering situation. Yes.
Now, the human trafficking, does that fall under either one of those cases right there?
You know what? My understanding, and like I said, this will be actually the first time I've defended somebody in a pending pimping, pandering, human trafficking case, because the last two cases that I worked on where those issues were even at all relevant were guys that had already been convicted of those charges, and the one that I mentioned earlier, he was on probation for pimping. Okay. And I defended him in a drug case. Okay. So I learned about, pimping and pandering. The other case that I've done, it was out of the airport courthouse near LAX, was a guy who, and this is something we need to talk about. This guy went to trial on a pimping case with a public defender, got convicted at trial. He was out on bail when he went to trial. But the day he got convicted, the jury came back with that guilty verdict. He was remanded into custody. They slapped the handcuffs on him. And his sister hired me to petition the court for a new trial where we argued that he wasn't properly defended at trial by his public defender.
Public pretender? I said that. He did.
As they are sometimes called. And so we alleged that there were constitutional right violations. He didn't receive a fair trial. He didn't receive adequate representation from his state-appointed attorney. Long story short, the judge denied that motion for him to get a new trial, and that's the motion I was representing him on, and sentenced him to 3-year state prison. He didn't have any strikes.
Wow.
He got the minimum sentence. But what's crazy about it is, and this is the part that I find really fascinating, and what I'm seeing, most pimping, I don't want to say most, but a large portion of it, and I'm sure it's not just California, it's probably throughout the country and throughout the world. It's not women out walking on a track with some guy watching over them collecting the money.
What is it?
It is guys making an agreement with a woman or women that I'm going to post an ad online for you on Craigslist, or there's another website called Backpages, and people that respond to the ad, I will screen them to try to make sure it's not an undercover cop, because the police monitor those ads. And then if we decide to accept him as a customer, we'll give him the address of the hotel room where you're at. And, and I'll be outside the hotel to make sure everything goes fine. And then the Johns will come to the hotel, have sex with the woman. She collects the money. When each time a John leaves, the quote-unquote pimp goes up to the hotel room, collects his money, and then then they'll just keep guys coming in, like a revolving door. So a lot of pimping is actually done through
online.
Done online. It's not somebody riding around in a drop-top caddy with some stacks and a feather hanging out the hat, jumping out the car, yelling, bitch, where my money?
Right.
This guy's actually going online and setting it up.
Well, you know what? This is amazing. What's really amazing is that as a young man, I was influenced by black exploitation movies as well.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And that's what you had back then. You had, the guy
like
with the
Dolomite movies.
Hat looked like an umbrella.
Rudy Ray Moore, Dolomite.
Oh, man, come on. He got
a lot of characters, a lot of pimp characters in his movies.
If you saw one of my, a buddy of mine actually produced this movie, Alan Hughes, and Pimps Up, Hoes Down. And when you saw the characters, and all these guys are characters, okay? They're real life characters. They almost, and I hate to say this because I know some of them personally, they almost look cartoonish.
Oh, yeah, they do. I've seen.
They wearing rings, look like chess pieces, and yellow hats, and I'm like, dude, why don't you just tell the police you're pimping? And why don't you just go in and, hey, I'm a pimp, Why would you put yourself out like that, on a daily basis, and what you're doing is illegal? That's just like, dope dealers back in the day would wear all the jewelry and the fancy car.
Yeah. You
telling the police, I sell dope. It's only a matter of time for you catch me. You ain't got to investigate.
That's like a burglar walking around with a mask on.
Yeah. Okay, I got a mask, gloves on, a pair of pliers, and a screwdriver in my back pocket. I'm just looking for the right house.
Right.
Okay, it's 2:00 in the morning. Okay, so it's like, for what I find crazy is a lot of times we as folks, I ain't gonna say black folks, sometimes people do things not only for money but for attention. Okay, how do you do what you do, especially if you know it's illegal, and still expect not to get caught when you wear all the usual suspect items? Okay, your car is, high yellow with gold, this and whatever the case may be. You don't have no visible means of income. You're always around a bunch of women. But if you get jammed, it's profiling. That don't make no sense. Yeah, it's profiling of a pimp. Okay, you profiled as a pimp.
It's an accurate profile.
I know. I had a buddy of mine, rest his soul, Lee Mack. He and I were good friends, and he looked like a pimp. And I ain't never pimped nothing in my life. Okay, and we would always
When you
laugh.
say he looked like a pimp, you talking about his dress style?
He dressed like a pimp. He wore the
He
big,
just liked to dress like
he
that.
liked
but
that.
He didn't
He
actually
liked that look. He was actually in. He was actually in the movie, in the documentary, Pimps Up Hoes Down, and he and I talked about that. He said, man, them my buddies. I like it. I laugh at some of them because some of them are so serious about this. It's just amazing. He had the lingo, he had the mannerisms, but he said, man, I ain't never pimped nothing in my life. That's what I do. Okay, I just like that look, and it was just amazing for me because everybody before I became buddies with him, everybody would tell me, oh, he's a big time dope dealer, he's a big time pimp. I said, man, we got to talking one day. We hooked up someplace off the entertainment circuit, and I saw him at the club or a restaurant or something. I said, man, I introduced myself. Hey, man, I'm Alonzo, blah, blah, blah. I know who you are, man. I said, well, I know who you are, too. But, we got to kicking. I said, man, they tell me you're supposed to be balling out of control on the pimp tip. Man, I ain't no damn pimp. I just roll with, these just the circle I run with,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay. But again, it's just sometimes, and he was mild-mannered. He was kind of mild-mannered for that circle, but he still was kind of, what you call that? He was very flamboyant, okay? And we were hanging out one day, and we took a picture together. And again, I'm old school. I like some loud clothes from time to time, and he had me laughing. One of the last things I remember him telling me, we took a picture, he and another friend of mine. The picture, I got on lime green, he got on yellow, mother partner got on some Hawaiian-looking shit, and he says, we look like a pack of Skittles. So anyway, it's just amazing that sometimes we do things subconsciously that can get us on the radar of the police or even folks that we just don't want to know our business, but it's done subconsciously. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Let me throw in a couple of things. One of the things that you and I have talked about before in private, and I think you mentioned it during episode 1 of the Not Alonzo Show 2 weeks ago, is about, because we talk about, behaviors in music and movies and television. We just talked about the movie Hustle and Flow. Last week when we were doing domestic violence, we talked about the TV show The Honeymooners.
Okay.
Now, what's the difference between those shows that influence our people to commit crimes and music that influence our people to commit crimes? You said it before, we agreed. It's really the repetition. Right. A hip-hop song, I don't know about you, most songs are like 4 minutes long on average. Right. Maybe a little shorter, a little longer. When a new song comes out, or the first time I hear a new song and I really like it, I'll put it on repeat. And I can listen to the song all day, and I'll learn the lyrics. And that's why I know so many lyrics. Okay. And I used to do that with Gangstar albums. So, I did it with probably Corrupt's first album. Okay. Razzcast, Eminem, anybody, the lyricist. That's what I like to listen to.
Hip Hop Attorney.
So yeah, and and because you're only going to see the movie Hustle and Flow, young people maybe only once or maybe a few times, if it airs on TV, and only see it occasionally, it's not going to have the same impact most likely that a song like 50 Cent's P.I.M.P. would have, because that song, you might hear it 5 times a day or 5 times a week when it first came out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or even more.
Right. And people don't understand that, and that's one of my arguments. Oh, we see the same thing in movies, see the same thing in TV. No. You don't see this often, though. We got to go to a break, y'all. We'll be right back. You are live with Alonzo and Dakar, the Hip Hop Attorney, folks. Nothing Not Without Alonzo is the show. It's the book. Go to AlonzoWilliams.com, y'all. We'll be right back. Peace.
Oh, okay, we're back.
Did you hear me? Okay, I slapped somebody on the way in. Anyway, y'all, you're back. You're live with Alonzo, the World Class Grandmaster, the godfather of West Coast hip hop, the man that had made it all happen from back in the day up until today. And on my left, we have Dakar. His real last name is Diorbo. Diorbo, right?
Diorbo.
Diorbo.
Very close, yes.
Diorbo. And that's why I call him Dakar, the hip-hop attorney. I can't pronounce Diorbo, okay? My mouth don't do all them tricks. Anyway, folks, we're talking about pimping and the effect on young adults. But before we go any further, let's put the pin on pimping for a second. Let's talk about something current in the news right now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Was it Monday or yesterday? Facebook was flooded with this video of a cop snatching a young girl out of a chair, throwing her and the desk all around the room like they were dish rags and the whole 9 yards. And when I saw this, I got pissed to no end. I'm like, Lord have mercy. Yeah, play the clip, babe. And I'm seeing this, and a few things came to mind. A few things bothered me. This guy is snatching this girl around like she's a damn dish rag, okay, with no regard for her safety whatsoever. And first thing came is, ain't nobody said nothing. Everybody got their phones, okay. Then I learned that it was a black male teacher in the room. Now I know it's not a good idea to interfere with police activity, but man, you can't just do that, okay? I got a problem with that, okay? As a black man, I probably would have had a fit. Y'all might be carrying balloons for my ass today, because I probably would have reacted some way from the fashion. I can't say that I would have maintained my cool witnessing something like this, okay? To see a young girl get snatched around, and she was on her phone, okay? I didn't see him spit on her. I didn't see him hit him. I didn't see him reach for her gun. So for him to react that way, you got to explain that to me, because I know as a grown man with 3 daughters, if I did any of one of my daughters like that, I would be in handcuffs, okay? I would be charged with abuse of a minor and various other cases that I probably couldn't afford to get my ass out of jail for. But because you have a badge, that does not justify your actions. And I'm trying to understand, one, when that happened, this officer, not only did he assault this girl, he disrespected his parents and everybody in that room, the girl's parents and everybody in that room. Because you know for yourself as an attorney, that wouldn't happen to a white kid. If a black cop did a white kid like that, white girl like that, he wouldn't have made it off the damn campus, okay? Let's keep it real, okay? He wouldn't have made it off the campus. He'd be in handcuffs. He wouldn't just be fired. They'd be pressing charges against him. It wouldn't be an issue. But when I listen to talk radio, because being a talk show host, and I am, I listen to the other side to hear their justification and how they can try and actually blame this on the girl. Now, I understand. Hold on. Before I even go any further, as a black man who has raised daughters, who works with black women, ladies, I know you don't try to act like y'all a bunch of angels. Sometimes you want to do that, but you know you can't, okay? Because sometimes the mouths can just take you to the next level. But as a trained officer, I'm trying to understand, how could he lose his cool that way, okay? Backstory, what I heard on the way here earlier, is that the young lady had just lost her grandmother and her mom in this year. She was actually you didn't hear that? Her mom? Her grandmother. Her grandmother, okay? And she was actually supposed to be texting her social worker. And this is what the reason why I guess they wanted the phone out of the girl's hand. We need to have some type of, I know they probably do, some better understanding on these phone situations. These phones are too much a part of our lives these days. And what is phone etiquette? Is it phone must stay in the pocket at all times, in the backpack while in class? You don't use them on the campus. You can't, what is the phone protocol so that these things don't, I don't know. Okay, I know my son's school, you can't have your phone in your hand in the school, in class, okay? Sometimes you can't use it on campus, depending on what it is. So, but again, we're talking about a cell phone, okay? Does he have, where did he get the right to, I guess he got the right because he figured ain't nothing going to happen to me, okay? Ain't nothing going to happen to me. Those black folks ain't got no money. They can't sue nothing. They ain't going to do nothing. They probably going to march, okay?
Yeah.
And
my guess, too, is that the officer in that video, I'm pretty sure he wasn't aware that someone else was videotaping him. So he's trying to, they're having a problem with the one student because she's using her cell phone.
Right.
But another student is using their cell phone to videotape him trying to deal with the problem with her using her cell phone.
Well, go ahead.
And, so I'm thinking this guy had to not be aware that he was being videotaped, because I would honestly, maybe he would have did the same thing even if he was being videotaped. I would tend to think that he would have handled it differently.
He got fired, okay? He got fired. Okay, he got fired. Is that enough? I think he should be prosecuted. I think he needs to go to jail. He was totally out of line. I can't do that to my kid. If I love him and put hands on him, stop. Perfect example. Same Facebook feed I'm reading the other day. Young lady, she's sitting there with her phone in her hand, and she is recording a child protective service agent writing her up because her 10-year-old daughter got kicked out of school and brought home in handcuffs. Mama, as a punishment, she tapped that ass, okay? She tapped that ass. The school had the girl removed from school, 10 years old, in handcuffs. But Mama tapped that ass, and they sent out Child Protective Services. I'm trying to understand what's wrong with this picture. Okay? Have we gotten so overprotective or so litigious that we have to find ways to get in everybody's business and everybody's household? You can't even discipline your child when you know you're the one that you disciplined her by kicking her out of school. So while putting hands on her, I'm wrong? I don't understand that. I'm too old school for that. Help me understand. Attorney?
Well, I don't pretend to have the answer for that. But,
come on, man. You're an attorney.
Shit. If we all had all the answers, there would be no need to argue over anything. But I'm for. I grew up with a mom that I mean, our parents was from Mississippi. We got whipped with switches.
Yeah, go get it.
Something that Adrian Peterson just got in trouble for.
Right.
What was it? Earlier this year, last year, I guess. My thing is, I'm pro corporal punishment.
Professional athlete for myself.
Yeah, I think parents should be allowed to spank their children without having to answer to DCFS or any police agency. Now, the problem, though, obviously, is that some parents don't do a good job of parenting, and when it comes to disciplining the children, they go too far with it. So if you're beating your children and leaving bruises on them that last for days, or, some parents will, hit their children in the face. That's something our mother never did. She never slapped us. She whipped us with switches, so we would get hit on our legs, our butt, maybe our arms, our back.
Right.
And that was the extent of it.
What's the purpose in whooping an ass if you can't leave some kind of evidence that you got your ass whooped? What a red mark goes away in a day or two, unless you one of them sisters like Felicia, you red bone, you're gonna leave a little mark that's gonna be there for a while. But hey, I get a red bone pass because she bruised easy. You kiss her, you leave lip prints on the damn cheek. So what can you say? It's ridiculous, man. There needs to be, some type of happy medium. I know they say there is until you do it. Okay, my son called. I got on him one day. I'm gonna call somebody. Call them. Call them when you want the tennis shoes. Call them when you want your next video game. Call them. Okay, because their schools tell you. Okay, if your parents spank you, let us know. I think I told you a story. I was taking some kids to school, and one of the kids got caught up. Mom spanked her, and next thing I know, everybody in the car scared to talk to her because she got a social worker now. And she bullying everybody. I'll tell my social worker.
Oh, wow.
Kid about this big. I'll tell my social worker. So, you handcuff the parents, you handcuff the kids from playing with them. It's just ridiculous. And I don't know, man.
And then it kind of creates, I think, maybe a vicious cycle. So if you take discipline away from the parents, they can't discipline their children. So that the children
don't respect
behavior
nothing.
Isn't as well controlled
Right.
as it should be, and they go out into society, school, and in public, and get into trouble, which then leads them to the criminal courts,
in your
juvenile
office,
hall,
right?
and in the prisons and county jail. So, did they take discipline away in order to cause that?
It seems that way to me, Doc.
Yeah, that might be the case.
It seems that way to me. When you look at the big picture, connecting the dots,
Mm-hmm.
you connect all the dots. The parents don't have any right to discipline, but I do as a police officer because I have a badge and I went to 6 months of training. I know your kid better than you do, so I get to beat him. I got a whole utility belt like Batman with all type of tasers, clubs, and everything else. Kick your kid's ass. And if that don't work, I can always tell a lie.
Right.
If that don't work, none of the stuff in my belt work, I can always tell a lie. But I tell you what really upsets me more than anything is to see cops beating up on young women, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That right there I really find appalling and I find very disturbing. And I hope to God I never cross that. We got 5 minutes left, folk.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you say a little something about what you're doing.
Well, let me say this. The topics that we're doing, our first topic last week was the domestic violence issue,
Yep.
legal implications. This week it was pimping. We have a lot of other topics prepared. We haven't chosen which topic we're going to do next week. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
But let me say this. I think we're going to have to revisit these topics at some point because there's so much to be said. Let me say one more thing on the pimping topic, and I'll be quick. One thing I noticed, the idea I had in my head about what pimping was and what type of people were involved, the way I grew up, is that women that are out there prostituting themselves, they're on drugs, they're depressed, they're down on their luck. They just got out of jail, their family, they lost their parents in some tragic accident. They got all these hardships that had led them there. And that very often just isn't the case. That pimping case that I did a motion for a new trial at the airport courthouse. The young woman that was being pimped was approximately 25 years old. She was married, had a child, but was separated from her husband, met up with my guy, the guy that I petitioned the court on his behalf, and the guy said, you want to work together and make some money? And she said, what do you mean? And he explained it to her, and she said, yeah, count me in. And just like that, she started
hooking.
Yeah, started hoeing.
Wow.
And it's like, hold on, I thought all the chicks that were being prostituted had major issues and I know you lived in a house and drove a Toyota Prius, and college part time,
Wow.
I thought they really had serious problems. Okay, we're getting near the end. I am attorney Dakar Durable. If anybody ever needs legal advice, especially on a criminal case here in the state of California, you can reach me at 213-858-2698. That is my cell phone number.
Okay. He'll go to court, quote Tupac, he'll quote Biggie, whatever he's going to do to get you out of court. If he got a break dance, he's going to get you out of court. No, he's a very good attorney. Thank God I don't really need him for nothing other than his show. He's a great guy. Check him out. Also, check out my book at AlonzoWilliams.com, The History of West Coast Hip Hop, Not Without Alonzo. If you think that Dre, Cube, and Easy just miraculously appeared one day and there was a wizard that just blink, well, I was that wizard, okay? I'm the reason why they got what they were able to get. I didn't get mine yet, but I'm working on it. In the meantime, folks, I am the World Class Grandmaster, the Godfather of West Coast Hip Hop. Thank you, Poetess. We're here every Thursday from 3 to 4 right here at MorrisMediaLive.com. Third Wednesday. Why am I wrong days? You know, my other show is on Thursdays. I'm here every Wednesday from 3 to 4. Somebody comment. He gonna get the name right one of these days. Y'all get it right, damn it. Where my button at?
Who's next? Fuck you! Fuck you and fuck you!
Yeah, that's what counts. Anyway, y'all, we're here every Wednesday from 3 to 4, MorrisMediaLive.com. I want to thank my girl Felicia, a.k.a. the Poetess, for allowing us to do this show. I thank y'all for calling. I thank y'all for listening. I thank y'all for watching. Check us out on YouTube and also MorrisMediaLive.com, or go to my website. We'll have a link up there as well. The book, if you want to get an autographed copy of the book, just go to my website, go to PayPal, pay for the book. Alonzo, my name is so-and-so. Send me a book. I do it all the time. It's going fantastic. Thanks for everybody who's bought the book, especially those out of the CPT, because, well, we had a good time this weekend. I sold some books in the CPT this week, man. They feeling you, boy, and I appreciate your support. Thank y'all, folks. We'll see you next week, God willing, next Wednesday, 3 o'clock, right here on Morris Media Live. You got Alonzo, the World Class Grandmaster, straight out of Compton, and Dakar, the hip-hop attorney, folks. We out of here. Peace.
Ain't no trick or treat, you young silly assholes.